Hey everybody, I'm Ricky.
And I'm Nova.
And this is Marriage and Christmas Edition. And
yes.
we're just in a discussion whether or not we should tell our 8-year-old about Saint Nick, for real, the truth, because we've been lying for 8 years.
8, like so many more than that.
Oh, we lied to our son, but he's 20. He figured it out by now.
He got over it.
But do you think we should tell her? This is the year we need to tell her.
I don't know. Do you?
I don't know. Yes, I definitely think she can do it. She can handle it. She's tough enough. She's got this.
Maybe. I don't.
Oh, good night.
Good night, baby.
Good night, Mommy and Daddy. 23 more sleeps till Santa comes.
Good night.
Bye, baby.
No, we shouldn't. We definitely shouldn't.
No, he's Saint Nick forever.
You and me, we got this. Gonna take some practice. Superpower oneness. We are marriaging. Oh, oh.
Wonder Twin Powers activate.
We are marriaging.
Hey everybody, I'm Ricky.
And I'm Nova.
And we are back.
And we are marriaging, just us tonight, talking about something really important, like lying to your kids. Just kidding.
It's our Christmas edition on marriaging. Merry Christmas, everybody, by the way.
Merry Christmas. It's early, but we want
Yep.
to say Merry Christmas. And we want to talk about something we think is important, and it's why traditions are important.
Yeah. And one tradition, obviously, that we shared right off the bat is the Christmas lie tradition. Some of you are going to stop watching the show because
You'd
of
be
that,
like,
but that's okay.
you're supposed to be like people that don't lie.
But here's why traditions are so important.
Yeah, honestly, I think traditions are important because it builds memories and it gives you a sense of like excitement and things that you can think back upon and want to build on. And it creates, like we talk about, marriaging is creating atmospheres and changing environments. It creates an atmosphere of really celebrating and learning how to celebrate and the things that are important. And I like for our kids, they look forward to certain things that we do that really help them celebrate ultimately the birth of Christ. But it's part of this whole season of traditions.
Yes, absolutely. What you said is really, really important. You said creating memories. You said modeling for our children. And you said giving them something to look forward to. Those are all like amazing. I'm going to say those again. Creating memories, modeling something for our children, parenting, modeling what we would like to see them do with their kids, and giving them something to look forward to. Right.
And I think that's actually a really key piece about traditions is if it's a tradition, it's like a guarantee that it's going to happen again. And that actually provides some stability for...
That's amazing. So that would be in that category of something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially kids in 2020 that live through 2020. There's absolutely no stability in 2020. You don't know if you're going to have to go to school from home, if you get to go to school,
uncertainties.
if everybody's going to be sick, if they're going to be well. So all these uncertainties. And what's crazy is our 20-year-old was home this last weekend for Thanksgiving, and he was asking about the Christmas traditions if they're still happening.
Yeah, he was like, are we still going to do these certain things that we do? And we're like, well, we hope so if things aren't shut down. But he was asking because he looks forward to doing those things.
So we thought tonight would be really fun, actually, is we'll read for you some of our traditions, and with the hopes that potentially you'll adopt these traditions or adopt your own. But I know sometimes people, they go, well, I'm not creative enough. I can never come up with it. And I think that you're probably more creative than what you think, right, babe?
Yeah, and then you kind of don't have to be that creative to do. I think our traditions are pretty simple. Like
tell them it takes a lot of ingenious.
It doesn't at all.
These traditions are ingenious. You're only going to get them here. So we'd encourage you to take notes.
That's another lie.
All right, tradition number 1.
Well, Santa.
Santa. Yeah, and this is how we frame it, which I think
okay, this is ingenious. I think we talk about how Jesus, Jesus made Saint Nick, and he
Yeah.
was like a giver, and so
Jesus is a giver. Saint
Jesus
Nick
is a giver, and Saint Nick's a giver.
And Santa Claus loves Jesus.
Totally, he does.
So we pray that he doesn't get COVID this year.
Some people would say, you should. Why are you doing all this, Santa stuff? And it's about Jesus, and it is.
Absolutely is about Jesus.
It is about Jesus, but we still we love the tradition of, like, even, as our son gets older, it's like, well, you got that from Santa. Like, I guess it's just really fun. And I don't have anything against fun.
Nothing against
all.
fun. My closest friend said he's Mexican, and he said they didn't do that in their family because he didn't want this overweight white dude getting all the credit for the good gifts.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny.
That's one of my favorite reasons why not to
And
do.
honestly, it made me think for a couple of years. I was like, yeah, he's got a point.
That dude gets all the credit. But the truth is, I think in the deep recesses of a little one's mind, they know it's not real. Except for the little guys. But then when you start getting into kindergarten and first grade, you realize, oh, there's
Like,
no
you
way
can
this
tell
can
when they're
happen.
playing. They're playing along.
They're playing along,
and
so it's
like
make-believe.
They want to, like, Shiloh wants to, like, play along. We also do the elf on a shelf. She's like, the elf on the shelf move. Like, I don't know what the actual tradition is, but we just say that it moves on its own. Yeah, another lie. But it's just like this fun little anticipation for her, and she looks for things. And it's interesting because I talked with her about being able to look for the elf on the shelf, and the elf on the shelf apparently reports to Santa and all that kind of stuff. But it was interesting because we had another conversation about how she looks for, like, Jesus in life at school and how Jesus can help her. And she's like the elf on the shelf. Like, look where what God is doing where. And it's kind of those moments. And
Yeah.
I'm like, that's really, really cool
Yeah.
that she actually conceptualized that thought and that idea to look for God.
And quite honestly, for us, I think you would agree. I don't want to speak for you, but it's really building into our child's imagination. And we saw great wonder in our son, who's now 20, and now in his 20s, we see that same wonder.
Yeah.
He's never sat in front of a TV and needed a screen to give him imagination and
Yeah.
think for him. He's always been a guy outside building forts out of scraps of wood because we built into that imagination. And we believe that that's really important. So
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
kind of fun.
okay, so the second tradition we want to talk to you about tonight, it really should have been the first one, but whatever. We make a birthday cake for Jesus.
Yeah, and that's actually something I started with Shiloh because she was super into it. And she's like, "When are we going to make our birthday cake for Jesus?" And we sing happy birthday and everything. We light
Blow out
the
a candle.
candle. And
Yep.
she loves it. She loves talking about she knows that Christmas is about Jesus.
Jesus.
And so that's one of the fun. That's a really, really fun tradition. She always asks about it. Another thing that we do is we build a gingerbread house.
That's tradition number 3.
Yeah,
We build a gingerbread house, which is a store-bought material.
we used to do it from scratch. And let me tell you, that thing was worth $150 because
Well, we have to
We
buy
bought
red
every-
candies.
we bought
We
every-
need blue candies. And now we need special glue.
it was like every variety. Remember, like, we would build, just the two of us. This is pre-kids. Like, we spent $150 on gingerbread houses. And I'm like, what are we doing? We can buy it for like $9.99. And there's like a 20% off sale. Yeah, so
So store-bought gingerbread houses with all the kit, the whole kit is like $10.
$10.
So that's the way to go. And if you buy them for your whole family, 5 kids, $50, and you have a night of entertainment. It's amazing.
And we have done like little contests.
Yep.
Some years, and it's not every. We always build at least one, but sometimes we do, depending on the timing of, like, we have a contest of who makes the best gingerbread house. This is one we always used to cut a tree with Elisha. He has since gotten over
Christmas
that.
tree.
A Christmas tree, not just any tree in the neighborhood. Be like, you know what, that neighbor's tree is
One year
really
we had an
bothering
apple
me.
tree, and then
This is a Christmas show.
yeah, we cut a Christmas tree.
So we cut a Christmas tree, and he loved it.
Yeah, it was like his favorite thing.
And we did that probably till he was like 15. Like,
Until it was like, dude, get off the couch. We're gonna go cut your tree.
like, but it was really but he loved going and cutting the tree
Yeah.
more than he loved having the tree in his room.
Yeah, because then you had to take care of it and water it and whatever.
Yeah, and he had allergies, I think.
If you cut a tree, it's roughly the same amount as if you buy one at Home Depot. We bought this one at Home Depot. The whole experience is so much more valuable.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to go out to the Christmas tree
A lot.
cutting place. We always set up our nativity scene, which
Number
that's, I mean,
6.
that's part of decor, but it's, Shiloh loves it.
Tradition.
And it's a tradition. And
Yep.
she has a little one that actually our friends purchased for her when she was itty bitty, and it like sings Silent Night, and it's cute. So she has her set up in her room, and I have one down here, which
It's fancy.
Yeah, it's kind of fancy. But I love setting up the nativity, and I don't know, it's awesome.
And number 7.
7.
We try to find the Christmas lights in the neighborhood. This is going to be a really good one for this year in particular, because you get your family and you're in your car. Nobody has to have a mask on. You're totally fine. You drive around neighborhoods with your family in your car, and you don't even have to get out of your car, especially if you have a sunroof or you just put the windows down, turn the heater on. Before you go find the neighborhood with the lights, you go get hot chocolate or coffee or cocoa or whatever.
Yeah, that's what we would always do. We'd always
Yeah.
get like a hot drink.
Yeah, and then you drive in these
Yeah.
neighborhoods, and you can go on. I think it's like the city website, or just
Wherever
just
you
search
live.
wherever you live. Like we would go Christmas lights in San Diego, and it would show us all these addresses, and you can literally just plan out your road trip. Start at 5 in the evening because it's dark at 5 here, and just go until you run out of gas.
That's a fun tradition.
Super fun.
We always do something with our church called Toys for Joy, but
That's
Shiloh,
tradition number 8.
yeah, that's tradition number 8, and she always likes to pick like a really nice gift. Like, well, sometimes we buy different ages and stuff, but just whatever age she is, she buys like a really nice gift for her age group, like for somebody
To give away.
Yeah, so that's really fun.
The event we do called Toys for Joy in San Diego is we give about 20,000 families toys and food and clothes. This year we're going to do a drive-by event where they can come by and pick up stuff. And if you're in San Diego and you're watching this, you didn't know that, go to our websites in 2 weekends. So it's the 12th, and we'd love to bless your family if you're in need, lost your job, or just whatever. We want to bless you. So the key to this tradition, which we found even with our son, is you don't just go buy a toy. You allow your child to pick out what they want, something that they really wanted and that they would have asked for themselves. And it'll cost you a little bit more. And then they have to give that thing away, knowing that they may not get one for Christmas, but it's really teaching them to be focused on others and to get them off of their
Yeah,
own.
it's been really fun with Shiloh. Her wondering, I wonder who, got that. I'm so
Yeah.
happy for them.
We pray for that little
I
kid.
pray for that little kid, and it just creates again this imagination, this wonder, and then just a heart to give, and not, right, like you said, like not even feel like she's gonna get that back, but just so excited for somebody else. And I think, to instilling in your children, and even in yourself, if you need to buy something to give somebody that you wish you could have for yourself, I think it just teaches us that, like, I don't know, just being generous and doing things for other people without expecting anything back.
And it's hard. It's hard sometimes.
Yeah. Tradition number 9.
9.
We always do an advent calendar, and this year, which is our son just turned 20, and he sat us down like right over there.
The whole family.
The whole family. He goes, guys, I just want you to know that this year I'm okay with not being a part of the advent calendar. And we're like, we weren't going to include you.
So for those that aren't aware of what an advent calendar is,
It's the countdown to Christmas.
so 25 days.
25
and
days.
It's a square box with little tiny doors, and you open up those doors, and there's a space for just something really tiny and cute, like a pack of gum or hair scrunchies, or they're little gifts. So it's like literally 25 days of gifts.
Yeah.
And the last day, the 25th, is the gift of Jesus, right? So that's always like the big one, because it's the most valuable of all the gifts. right?
Yeah.
And here's a very inexpensive way to do that. Trader Joe's sells a calendar, advent calendar, and each day you get a little piece of chocolate, and the whole calendar is $3.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, tradition number
Lord
10.
help us. Tradition number 10, ice skating.
Ice skating.
So because I grew up in Canada,
The frozen north.
north. When we first got married, and it was like Christmas time, I'd slightly fall into sadness, and I would close all the blinds, and then I would light a fire and put on candles and just pretend that it was snowing, because I was like, you can't. So how do you guys do Christmas if it doesn't snow? Like, I was like, I don't get it.
I remember one year we were renting a place that actually had air conditioning, and she turned on the air conditioning. It was like to 58 or whatever. It was freezing in her house. It was like 75 outside, beautiful. In her house, it was like 40, and she was curled up by the fire.
It's just, I just couldn't, I didn't get it. Moving right along to the tradition, starting to go ice skating was like, it felt Christmassy. It felt like home to me. So that was like, that's an important tradition to me. I really enjoy just everybody going out there and me being the best, because I'm from Canada and I played hockey. So none of my family can skate, and I just get to laugh at them falling.
I can skate pretty good.
Yeah, anyway, so that's a good tradition, watching you fall on your skates. Number 10.
And here's a tip on the ice skating. If you have a casino nearby, most of them have ice skating rinks. So they freeze
I know,
fields.
I kind of want to go to that one this year.
Yeah, so there's 3 or 4 casinos in San Diego. The most expensive in San Diego is Hotel Del. And if you've never done that,
It's magical.
it is pretty magical. You're on the beach
And you're
and
ice
you're
skating.
ice skating. So you're hearing the waves and you're
amazing.
skating on actual ice. It's pretty crazy.
It's-
but it's like $30 a person, so it's
Yeah.
really expensive.
Yeah. Number 11. So we always go to church.
Yep.
And
Not this
sometimes
year,
we
though.
not this year. Not this year.
Crazy. Church is going to be online this year.
So so the tradition is we all watch online.
The new tradition.
The new tradition. And then
We get to open up one
one
present.
present. And it's always the big surprise present in pajamas.
Surprise.
Surprise.
So mom and dad get to pick out your present you open on Christmas Eve. All the rest of the presents get opened on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
But this one present we all open up in pajamas.
And-
What?
Yeah, and sometimes I make us all match, and then they hate it. So it's awesome.
So we did that last year, and we kept them on for the pictures, and then we sent all the jammies back.
they didn't fit them. Shiloh and I kept ours,
That's true. Yeah.
and
that's
then
true.
you guys were like, "These don't fit."
And I'm never gonna wear them.
So whatever. On Christmas Eve,
So we put our pajamas on, and then before we go to bed, we either talk about or we read the Christmas story.
that was something that my family growing up always did. We could be in the middle of a Christmas fight and it'd be like, "Sit down, we're reading the Christmas story." So no, we were pretty good. But yeah, my dad always read the Christmas story of Jesus. That was a pretty important tradition in our family, which is pretty cool. Wait, can I share a tradition that my dad did? Because it's cool.
Yeah.
So no one here would really know what halva is, but halva is like a German kind of like nut cake, but it's not. It's like, it tastes like chocolate, but it's like all crushed up nuts. It's called halva. And my dad always had eggnog and halva for us for Christmas, and we all like Christmas Eve after church. After we I think we ate like a dinner, but there'd always be halva, there'd be eggnog and oranges, and we like, I don't know, it was just like one of the, it sounds kind of gross now that I'm saying it, but it was like a big deal. And there was like a certain kind of chocolate he would always buy. So those were like, he had these staples that he always had, which
I love that. That's pretty cool.
It was pretty cool.
Number 13.
13 time we make Christmas, well, we call it Christmas crack because it's so good. It's candy.
It's candy, yeah.
And we usually give it away, but this year I don't think people really want it.
No.
Which is sad.
It is.
Some people might.
No, probably not.
Probably not. So
okay.
that's okay. We'll skip it this
Yeah.
year.
There's a family that also did that. They gave cookies to their entire cul-de-sac. They made this like special cookie, and they wrap them in a plate and give them to their whole cul-de-sac. And this year they're ordering their fortune cookies, but you can order different sayings, and you can actually write sayings for these fortune cookies, and then you get them in red and green, and they come all pre-wrapped, individually wrapped.
Oh, cute.
And they were doing that for their neighbors. I thought that was pretty cool because they're individually wrapped. You put them in a bag. You can walk around with the mask, knock on doors. You know, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And that is like something that I think is important for our kids to see us being neighborly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like doing things for the people that live around you and going out of your way for them.
Just because they're neighbors. Unfortunately, I think some neighborhoods we get in the habit of driving in, pushing the button on your garage, pulling into your garage, pushing the button, and it closes. And then you don't even have to talk to anybody. But we try to avoid that. So these are just Christmas traditions that we've come up with and we've done for years, and they're fun. Maybe you have some. In fact, if you have some, maybe type them in the comments below. So we think tradition is really, really important. And it's not our idea. We didn't come up with it. But we participate in traditions. These are just our Christmas traditions, but we also have family traditions. And we would encourage you to make traditions part of your family, part of your marriage, and part of your family. And if you don't have kids, it doesn't matter. If you have cats and dogs, awesome.
Yep. Because
Right?
if there's two of you, you're a family.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Our kids will tell the story of our traditions one day.
Yep.
And then their kids will tell the story of like, that's what they did. And because of them, that's what we're doing. And I think that there's something really special about that. And I think it's probably of biblical proportions. That's why we want to have traditions, because I think traditions make us feel safe and comforted and loved and seen and heard, that someone has, put that time in. I think that goes back to like how we marriage. It's like, if you put in the effort to create something for your family. And we started the gingerbread before we ever had kids. We would go see lights, but it was the idea of creating something for our family to sink our teeth into, like, this is what we do and this is really enjoyable. And just the idea of doing it again next year makes you feel like we really have something here.
Totally.
And I do think that's important for people, especially people who've grown up in families where there hasn't been traditions and they haven't seen this modeled, and that it's possible for them to start this and to create something, just the pair of them, and start that for them as a family. And then as they expand their family, it's going to be awesome for them to watch their traditions grow too. And it's possible, but it's important for people who have experienced really challenging family experiences growing up and they didn't ever know what to expect. And I think that's key. Like, if you grew up in a family where you didn't know if dad was gonna come home one way or mom the other, having things that you can count on are really important. And I think, why not start now? If you've never thought, well, I don't know, it doesn't matter, like, whatever, we'll do anything whatever year, like, who cares? And you grew up that way, maybe this is your time to go, we should do this. We should start something. And I think you're going to find that it's going to benefit not only your marriage and your relationship, but your kids' relationship with you at some point as well, Yeah,
I think about Joshua led the people of Israel through the Jordan River, and if you remember that story, the Jordan was like huge, right? In hundreds of feet deep or whatever, and then he parted the Jordan River, and when they had crossed through the Jordan River on dry land, God told a leader from each of the 12 tribes to go grab a stone from the middle of the Jordan and stack those stones on top of each other. And the purpose of that, he says, and I think it's Joshua chapter 10, he says that's going to be a monument, and it's going to speak to your children and your children's children. So whoever sees that is going to be reminded of how awesome I was. And in the New Testament, Paul, the writer of most of the New Testament, would call that living stones. So he would say those are living stones. So they don't say anything. Stones are just objects, but they tell a story. So when our children's children hear grandma and grandpa did this thing where it speaks about love and a warm home and peace, and we don't even say it, like, it's just because they know about this tradition. It tells a story.
That makes me cry. Sorry. That's awesome. There's something really beautiful about that, like, to be able to to know that it matters.
Yeah, it does matter.
Yeah.
So Merry Christmas.
So you matter. You matter.
You made me cry.
Yeah.
Gosh, I turned 50 and I'm just like a mess. We hope you have a Merry Christmas, and we're going to be here every week. Next week we're going to do a marriaging together.
Yeah.
That's where we have another couple on, we interview, and it's going to be amazing. This couple, you're going to want to meet them.
Yeah.
And then the week after that, is almost marriaging.
Almost marriaging.
Right, so that's where we talk about dating for those of you that are dating and
Ooh, it's
or
gonna be
want to
fun.
be dating. Those of you who are engaged, and we have a cool nugget for you.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It's going to be good. And then the final week of the year, we do a live marriaging, and
We're actually not, because that's actually Christmas Day.
yeah,
So we're not.
We'll do
We
like
haven't-
maybe a New Year's Eve live or something.
Yeah, we can mix it up.
We love you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and start some traditions. You got plenty of time.
Yeah, have an incredible start to your Christmas season, and start piling up those living stones.
God bless you. Merry
Bye.
Christmas. We'll see you next week.